Hello everyone. For today, I will be discussing the urinary system. However, for this recorded discussion, I will just be discussing the first part of this system, and then I will be having a separate discussion again for other parts of this system. Okay, so let's start. So when it comes to the urinary system, it is comprised with two kidneys. So in general, sa mga mammalian animals natin or sa mga farm animals natin, they have two kidneys. They have also two ureters, one urinary bladder, and also one urethra. Okay, so together, if we will have this composition, so they will form now this organ system or this urinary system, which is responsible for the maintenance of the fluid balance of the animal's body, as well as yung pag-filter ng waste, and ang pinaka-importante sa kanila is yung pag-eliminate ng urine. So pero hindi lang ito parang simple na, like for example, just to eliminate the urine, but then it has also other physiological roles. Okay, so let's start with the kidneys. So it says here, it filters the blood. Okay, so ito yung pinaka-importante na organ with this system. So dalawa sila. Usually located sila in the dorsal part of the abdominal cavity. Okay, take note of that one. Kadalasan, although hindi naman lahat ng mga animal species, however, in general point of view, ang location ng mga kidneys ng mga farm animals natin is located at the dorsal part, okay, dorsal direction of the abdominal cavity. So, ang pinaka or one of the most important roles of the kidneys is eto. It filters the blood, meaning sila yung nag-aalis ng mga waste products as well as yung mga toxins and excess na substances na hindi na kailangan ng katawan doon sa bloodstream. Okay? Pero beyond that filtration, they also help regulate the composition of plasma. So you already know what is a plasma kasi we have already discussed with the cardiovascular system. This is the liquid portion, okay, of the blood. So yung parang kulay yellow dito. So ibig sabihin, sila yung nag-a-adjust ng electrolyte balance as well as yung blood pH and water volume tsaka osmolarity. So with this one, sila na yung parang we are considering it as the major regulator of homeostasis. So ang kidneys yung nag-a-adjust kung gaanong karaming tubig ang i-retain niya, of course with the help of that hormone that I have already discussed to you, the antidiuretic hormone. Okay? So syempre meron pa din involvement of those hormones. So again, siya yung nag-a-adjust kung gaano karami na water ang i-retain or i-excrete through the urine depende doon sa hydration state ng katawan ng animal. So kapag kulang yung tubig, syempre magre-retain yung kidneys with the help of the antidiuretic hormone at magiging concentrated yung urine. So it will become yellowish in color or dark yellowish in color is because of the concentration of urine. So in other hand, kapag sobra naman yung tubig, syempre maglalabas sila ng mas maraming urine. So dahil dito, merong role yung mga kidneys natin with the osmoregulation or yung tinatawag natin na pag-maintain ng tamang concentration ng solute sa blood. Okay? So other than that one also of one function of the kidneys is they also perform yung hormonal function. So halimbawa, nagpo-produce sila ng erythropoietin. So I have already discussed this one again in the cardiovascular system. Ang erythropoietin, that is the hormone that stimulates the red blood cell production. Okay? Para merong red blood cell production doon sa bone marrow, kailangan ng erythropoietin. So ibig sabihin, again, there is no such thing as erythropoiesis, which is the process of red blood cell production without the hormone erythropoietin that is being produced by the kidneys. Okay? Other one is nag-activate din sila ng vitamin D with the help also of the liver. So I have also discussed this one in the endocrine system. And isa pa sa pinaka-importanting function ng urinary system ay yung regulation ng blood pressure. So this is done with the process of what we call as the renin-angiotensin aldosterone system or the RAAS. Okay? So yung kidneys, yung kumokontrol sa vasoconstriction, okay, sa blood volume as well as sa sodium balance. So kapag bumaba ang blood pressure, syempre maglalabas ng renin ang kidneys upang itaas ito. So kapag mataas naman, syempre babawasan nila yung fluid retention para bumaba yung pressure. Okay? So that is the renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. Although I will be having a comprehensive discussion later on with this kind of system. Okay? Ngayon, pagkatapos i-filter, okay? Pagkatapos na i-filter ng kidneys yung blood, so ang system of tubules inside yung each kidney, okay, meron tayong tinatawag na nephron. So I hope you have encountered this technical term, the nephron. So we'll eventually now channel the newly formed urine into larger collecting structures. So lahat ng tubules na ito ay nagkoko-ales. Okay? Meaning they converge and join together. So eto siya. Sabi dito, the system of tubules in each kidney coalesces into a single mucomuscular tube. So lahat ng tubules na ito ay nagko-coalesce, meaning they converge and join together, forming here a single na muscular tube na tinatawag natin na ureter. So ang ureter ngayon dito, ang daanan ng urine palabas ng kidney. So again, this is a mucomuscular, meaning may mucous membrane lining as well as smooth muscle. Kaya may capacity itong magperistalsis. Okay? Parang ano siya, para siyang intestine na para maitulak yung urine pababa. Kasi yun yung peristalsis, parang muscular contraction. So parang ganun din siya, parang intestine din siya na para maitulak lang yung urine pababa. Now, ang ureters, papunta sila caudally, meaning toward the tail end of the body, hanggang makarating sila sa urinary bladder. So ang urinary bladder, it says here, distensible reservoir. So meaning kaya niya mag-expand para makapag-store ng urine. So, parang ang bladder, it is designed para mag-hold ng urine until safe and convenient for the animal to release it. So, parang meron siyang stretch receptors, okay? May stretch receptors ito na nag-a-alert sa nervous system kapag puno na. Okay? So, kapag na-reach na ng bladder, ang fullness, automatic na nag-activate ang micturition reflex. Ang micturition, that is just the process of urination. Okay? So nag-activate yung micturition reflex. So dito na papasok yung urethra, yung final passageway. So sa urethra, dumadaan ngayon ang urine papalabas ng katawan. So ang haba at saka structure nito, it varies depende sa sex ng animal. So just take it down. Mas mahaba sa mga males at mas shorter or mas maikli sa mga females. Now, pag-usapan naman natin with the anatomy of the kidney. So, again, this is one of the most important organs para sa filtration as well as the fluid balance and waste excretion. So ang kidneys ay paired reddish-brown organ na syempre ang pangunahing trabaho is just to filter yung plasma at yung mga contents nito mula sa blood. So pagkatapos nilang i-filter, sila ngayon sila rin ang selectively reabsorb. Sila ang nagse-selectively reabsorb ng water at mga essential nutrients at kung ano lang ang sobra o harmful, yun ang ini-excrete nila bilang urine. Okay? So kung titignan ninyo, the kidneys of most domestic animals are bean-shaped except for two special cases of the farm animals. Meron tayong for the horse. So if you would observe from this one, like for example, this is the normal shape of a kidney, bean shape siya. So dito for the dog. Pero when it comes to the horses, heart shape is una. Okay? More specifically, ang right kidney. Heart shape is una. With the cattle, kakaiba din siya, lobated isuna. Meaning obvious, dijay panagkakagudwa digitoy lobes. Okay? Obvious yung pagkakahati-hati sa mga maraming lobes, yung cattle. Okay? Now, saan ba nakalagay ang kidneys? As what I have said a while back, they sit in the dorsal part of the abdominal cavity. Nasa magkabilang side ng aorta at caudal vena cava. Okay? Adjust ventral to the first few lumbar vertebrae. Usually, mas cranial ng kaunti yung right kidney kaysa sa left. So in fact, the cranial pole of the right kidney fits snugly into a fossa of the liver. Parang nakadikit siya doon. Okay? Samantalang ang left kidney naman ay mas pendulous. Okay? Meaning medyo mas malayang nakakagalaw ito. Okay? Sa mga ruminants, dahil sobrang laki ng rumen na medyo natutulak minsan yung left kidney papunta sa right side. Okay? Minsan lumalampas pa siya sa midline. So this is an example of the kidney. So this is the right kidney of the horse. This is for the cattle, and then this is for the sheep. And then these are just the different na parts or anatomical parts of the kidney, although we will be encountering this one later on. For the number one, ito siya, or ito din. This is the renal artery, then this is the renal vein, and then we have the ureter. Okay? Now, another important term to remember, the kidneys are retroperitoneal. Sabi dito, retroperitoneal. Ibig sabihin, nasa labas sila ng peritoneal cavity. Pero covered partly by peritoneum, and they are also attached closely to the abdominal wall. Okay? So dahil dito, hindi sila naghahang freely like yung mga intestines. And syempre, bawat kidney, it is enclosed in a tough connective tissue capsule. So eto siya, for protection purposes. Okay, very tough yung connective tissue na nagpro-protect sa kidney. Na kung titignan natin ang medial side, yung medial side ng kidney, makikita natin ang hilus. Or in other books, they are calling this one as a hilum. So dito pumapasok ang renal and artery at saka mga nerves. So here, entry for renal artery and nerves, at dito din lumalabas yung ureter, as well as the renal vein and mga lymphatic vessels. So parang yung hilum or the hilus, para itong gateway ng kidney. So lahat ng traffic dito dumadaan. So parang ganun yung concept when it comes to the hilus or the hilum. Now from the hilus, makikita natin ang renal pelvis. So ang wide origin ng ureter sa loob ng kidney. So dito nang gagaling ang urine mula sa collecting tubules. So ang space na nakapalibot sa pelvis ay tinatawag naman siyang renal sinus. So take note class, sa bovine kidney, wala silang renal pelvis. So instead, ang ureter ay galing diretso sa coalescence ng individual calyx or calyces. Okay? Now, pag tinignan natin sa cross-section, ang kidney may dalawang main regions. Meron tayong tinatawag na renal medulla, and then we have the renal cortex. So when it comes to the renal medulla, so eto siya. So again, this is just the same with the adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex. Ang renal medulla, that is the inner region. So striated ang appearance nito dahil sa radially arranged collecting tubules. So nandito rin ang loops of Henle, both the descending and ascending ones. Sa ibabaw naman ng renal medulla, nandito din ang renal cortex, which has a granular appearance dahil puno ito ng renal corpuscles. Ito yung ang mga renal corpuscles, ito yung filtration units composed of the glomerulus and then the Bowman's capsule. So you will be encountering this one later on as my discussion progresses. The glomerulus as well as the descending and ascending loops of Henle as well as the Bowman's capsule. So nandito rin ang proximal at distal convoluted tubules and some parts of the loops of Henle. Kaya dito talaga nagsisimula yung filtration process. Now, ang medulla at cortex, naka-organize sila into a renal lobe. So if you would observe this one, this is a renal lobe. Okay? Bawat lobe may medullary portion na tinatawag na renal pyramid. So eto siya. So within this renal lobe, meron tayong tinatawag na renal pyramid. And ang apex ng pyramid na to, may tinatawag din natin siyang renal papilla, which points toward the renal pelvis. Okay? So again, ang medulla at saka cortex, naka-organize sila. Ito, like for example, this one, the renal medulla and then the cortex, they are organized into a renal lobe. So ito siya, parang ganito, the renal lobe. Now, bawat lobe may medullary portion which is called as the renal pyramid. And then with the apex ng pyramid, meron din tayong tinatawag na renal papilla na nandoon malapit sa renal pelvis. With the kidney architecture naman per species, we have here the cattle. So if you would observe, ang kidneys nila, as what I've said a while back, it is lobated. Ibig sabihin, parang hati-hati sa labas. So parang ganito siya. Okay? This one is for a female cattle. I think this is from a Holstein cattle. And then this one, this is a male na kidney from the Holstein cattle also. So each renal pyramid is equal, each renal pyramid has one external lobe. Kaya obvious ang segmentation. Obvious itong mga segmentation nito. Makikita mo talaga na parang chunky or segmented yung outer surface ng kidney ng mga cattle. Now, when it comes to the flow of urine, okay, urine from each pyramid, so from the renal pyramid kanina, dadaan siya sa minor calyx or the calyces, and then dadaan siya sa major calyx. So ito siya, it should be Y, ito, hindi I. So this is one for the minor calyx and then the major calyx, and then diretso na siya sa ureter. So again, as what I've said a while back, diretso na siya sa ureter kasi wala silang renal pelvis. Kaya hindi dadaan doon. Wala silang renal pelvis dito. So although this is not a kidney of a cattle, pero para lang ma-imagine ninyo yung minor, major at saka renal pelvis, eto siya. Okay, the minor, the major, and then the renal pelvis. So sa mga other animals kasi, from the minor calyx or the major calyx, although with other animals, nagiging fuse na tong dalawa, yung minor tsaka yung major calyx. Okay? So parang nagiging na siya, crest na siya. So dadaan na siya papunta sa renal pelvis. Pero again, with the cattle, wala silang renal pelvis, so didiretso na kaagad dito sa ureter. So yan yung flow of urine sa cattle. Now when it comes to the pigs and small ruminants naman, fuse ang cortex ng lobes kaya smooth ang outer surface, hindi lobated. Okay? Ito yung for the pigs, and then this is a kidney of a goat. Okay? Pero ang unique sa mga pigs natin, kahit smooth sa labas, hindi fuse ang papillae sa loob. Hindi pa rin fuse etong mga papillae dito, yung mga papillae dito sa part na to. Hindi sila fuse. Makikita mo pa rin ang mga papillae separately projecting into the pelvis. So when it comes to the flow of the urine for the pig, so syempre of course the urine dadaan pa din sa minor calyx and then the major calyx. Renal pelvis, so merong renal pelvis ang mga pigs, and then ureter. For the small ruminants, mas smooth sila, kay mas smooth din, pero take note, unlike with the pigs kanina, single pa din. Kay single yung mga, or separate yung mga papillae. Pero dito sa mga small ruminants, although I don't have a picture na yung cross-section sana para mas makita yung loob, yung mga small ruminants, fuse na yung kanilang papillae, kaya ang tawag na natin sa kanila is renal crest. Okay? So kapag fused na yung papillae, ang tawag natin sa kanila is renal crest. So wala nang functional na minor tsaka major calyx kasi nagiging fused na yung papillae at tsaka single renal crest na papunta na sa renal pelvis until the ureter. Okay, so this is the flow of the urine for the pigs and the small ruminants. For the horses, dito yung pinaka-unique kasi even the papillae, they are fused. So same lang din with the small ruminants, they are forming a single renal crest. So ang renal crest, isa siyang mahaba at saka continuous na ridge na nakaproject sa renal pelvis. So take note that when it comes to the horse, smooth ang outer surface and then sa loob nila, isang crest lang ang drainage point. So isang crest lang yung daanan. So this would be the flow of the urine of the horses. So we have here a collecting tubules and then since it is fused na yung papillae, so there is already a renal crest and then renal pelvis and then ureter. For the chicken, yung kidney ng chicken, it is elongated, lobulated, at saka fixed sa dorsal body wall, sa fossa ng synsacrum. Okay? Meron tayong tatlo na lobes per kidney ng chicken. So ito din yung kakaiba sa kanya. Meron tayong tinatawag na cranial lobe, the middle lobe, as well as the caudal lobe. Kaya hindi mo siya basta matanggal kasi intact siya during the dissection kasi pasok siya sa bony recess. So, if you will be having a dissection later on with the chicken, sa mga magda-dissect ng chicken, you will be observing this one na talagang intact. Okay? Intact yung mga kidneys na to. Now, very important din and unique sa mga birds natin, they don't have renal pelvis and calyces or yung tinatawag natin na calyx. Walang renal pelvis, walang minor or major calyx, and walang renal papillae since walang collecting system sila like yung mga mammalian animals. So meaning, if this is the case, direct draining ang nephrons papunta sa collecting ducts, which is the ureter. For another one, the chickens have two types of nephrons unlike sa mga mammals. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na cortical nephrons which is a reptilian type. So walang loop of Henle ito, yung mga cortical nephrons. So located sila sa cortex area ng kidney and short sila. Okay, medyo short sila and they do not concentrate urine well. Etong mga cortical nephrons. Now, when it comes to the medullary nephron, may loop of Henle sila. Located sila deeper in the kidney and they could also allow some water reabsorption. Okay? Meron silang water reabsorption pero take note that when it comes to the chicken, hindi kasing efficient ng mga mammals. Kasi ano ba to? Yung mga birds kasi meron silang ability to concentrate urine pero it is only limited. Kaya may uric acid precipitation instead of urea. Now, when it comes to the architecture of the kidney of the chicken, unlike mammals na merong cortex medulla pattern by a renal pyramid, sa chicken, cortex and medulla are not organized into pyramid. So, ibig sabihin, mass scattered ang arrangement. Instead, mass scattered yung arrangement. So, each lobe meron silang own na cortical at saka medullary areas pero walang distinct na renal papillae or renal pyramid. So, ang flow of urine would be from nephrons, collecting ducts, secondary collecting ducts, and then the ureter and cloaca or the urodeum. So, walang urinary bladder sa mga birds. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, if there is no urinary bladder with the birds, yung urine, it will go straight to the cloaca. Pababa dito, sa cloaca na. So, parang there is reverse peristalsis this can move the fluids back into the colon and seek for further na water absorption. Okay? So this is one. Again, what is the output of the chicken kidney? The birds excrete yung sinasabi ko kanina na uric acid, yung parang white na pasty part. Kapag, like for example, if they will poop, di ba merong parang white pasty part, that is a uric acid. Okay? It is mixed with the feces since common yung cloacal chamber. Now, for the last part of the first discussion, meron tayo dito for the blood and nerve supply. So, the kidneys have one of the richest blood supplies in the entire body, lalo na kung ikukumpara natin sa laki nila. Kahit maliit yung mga kidneys, they receive up to 1/4 or 25% of the total cardiac output, which makes sense dahil major function nila ang pag-filter ng blood at saka pag-maintain ng composition ng extracellular fluid kasama na ang blood plasma. So, sa pagpasok ng dugo sa kidney, okay? So here, so pagpasok ng dugo sa kidney, ang renal artery, okay, ang unang major vessel na makikita dito sa hilum. So ito yung nagdadala ngayon ng oxygenated at high pressure na blood mula kanina sa abdominal aorta. So pagkapasok nito sa loob ng hilum, okay, if you would observe from this one, maghahati ito. So maghahati ngayon itong renal artery na to into certain branches. So hahati ito sa segmental arteries. So this one. So ang segmental arteries, ito yung nagsusupply sa magkakaibang anatomical segments ng kidney. So mula sa segmental arteries, magka-continue ito, magka-continue ngayon yung blood sa lobar arteries na pupunta mismo bawat renal lobe. So dito na nagsisimula yung pagdidistribute ng blood sa mas maliliit pa na branches or mas maliliit pa na anatomical units. So habang papasok pa ang arteries dito sa loob, so from the renal artery, naggudwa iso na, from the segmental artery, tatan mapan iti different lobes. So meron tayo dito. Ang lobar arteries, magpapalabas ng interlobar artery. This one. So this can be found sa pagitan ng mga renal pyramids sa loob ng renal columns. So ang direction ng interlobar arteries, paakyat siya patungo doon sa cortex. So pagdating nila sa border, okay, once na nakarating na itong interlobar artery sa border ng cortex at saka medulla, liliko sila ng medyo pahalang and then bubuo sila ng, kung makikita ninyo dito, ano yung susunod? It is the arcuate artery. From the word itself, arc. So arco isuna na nakasurround on the base of the renal pyramids. So ang mga arcuate arteries naman ang magbibigay ng mas maliliit pang branches, okay? Mas maliliit pang branches na tinatawag naman natin na interlobular arteries. Okay? So from the renal artery, segmental, naging interlobar artery kasi mas maliliit, pero binigay na naman niya kay arcuate artery, mas maliliit na naman, pero yung arcuate artery bibigay ulit sa interlobular arteries na papasok pataas sa cortex. Okay? So mula sa interlobular arteries, manggagaling ang afferent arteriole. So ito siya, yung interlobular artery, manggagaling dito ang afferent arteriole na it will proceed with the glomerulus. Okay? So tutungong ito ngayon yung afferent arteriole, so mas maliliit lang ito na arteries, it will go with the glomerulus. Okay? So habang ang dugo ay nafi-filter, okay, habang ang dugo ay nafi-filter sa nephron, okay, ang venous blood ay pababalik kasi from the glomerulus into the efferent arteriole and then the peritubular capillaries. Ano tong mga peritubular arteries? So again, let's go back with the cardiovascular system or the capillaries itself. Ito yung exchange point. Okay, parang border nga makipag-barter the arteries and veins. So from the capillaries, so kukunin na ngayon ng mga veins. So ang venous blood ay babalik, okay, pabalik sa systemic pathway sa pamamagitan ng isang parallel system of veins. So ang pinakauna, so tapos na tayo with the arteries, nakisinukat isunan in the capillaries, meron na tayong veins dito. So with this one, ang first na blood vessel for the vein is yung tinatawag natin na interlobular veins na nasa cortex din and katabi lang siya ng interlobular arteries. So dito unang naiipon ang mga dugo mula sa peritubular capillaries at vasa recta. So ang interlobular veins ay dadaloy pababa. Okay? Pababa siya patungo ngayon dito sa arcuate vein. So parang balbaliktado na laong di na pasamak iti ayan iti arteries tatay. Kasi agpangpangato tatay deti nga area. Tatamot turn iti baba for the veins agpababamot isuna. Okay? So parang ganun yung concept dito. With the arteries, ngumato isuna, pero when it comes to the veins, bumaba. Bumaba di jay daran. So from the interlobular veins, bababa ngayon siya dito sa arcuate veins. Siyempre, nasa parehong lokasyon lang din with the arcuate arteries sa border ng cortex and medulla. Then, if you would observe again from the arcuate vein, ang blood ngayon mula sa arcuate vein, iipunin ngayon ng interlobar vein. Okay? So, katulad din ng interlobar arteries na tumatakbo siya sa renal column sa pagitan ng mga renal pyramids. Now, pagkatapos ng collection sa interlobar vein, syempre, mangkolekta, dadali ngayon yung blood papunta sa renal vein. Okay? Na lumalabas ngayon sa hilum sa tabi ng renal artery. So ito na ang pangunahing venous outlet or exit point ng kidney at saka nagdadala ng deoxygenated at saka filtered blood papunta sa caudal vena cava. Okay, yung caudal vena cava or what we call as the inferior vena cava. Kasi as what I've said in the cardiovascular, di ba ang pinaka-common is the superior and inferior vena cava. However, those are just for human. Pero pag animal ang tinutukoy natin, it is right and correct na mas gamitin natin ang cranial tsaka caudal vena cava. Okay? Now, pagdating naman sa nerve supply ng kidneys, ang pangunahing innervation ay galing sa sympathetic nerves na nagmumula sa ciliaco-mesenteric plexus. So, ang mga sympathetic fibers na ito ay kumokontrol sa mga renal blood vessels at pati sa tubular cells ng kidneys. So, kapag na-stimulate ang sympathetic nerves, nagkakaroon ng vasoconstriction. Okay, ano tong vasoconstriction? Ito yung pagkipot ng mga blood vessels sa loob ng kidney. So dahil dito, dahil merong vasoconstriction, bumababa ngayon yung renal blood flow. Kaya mas kaunti yung dugo na dumadaan sa mga nephrons. Okay? Kasama rin sa epekto nito yung pagmomodulate ng renin release. Okay, mula sa juxtaglomerular cells. So ibig sabihin, it's very important yung sympathetic nerve supply sa pagre-regulate ng blood pressure tsaka fluid balance sa animal's body. Kasi kapag mataas ang sympathetic activity, halimbawa, dahil sa dahil sa stress or pag-lower ng blood pressure, tutulong ngayon yung kidneys na i-adjust ang blood flow at renin production para ma-maintain yung normal na homeostasis. So dito na papasok yung renin-angiotensin na system natin. Okay? So this ends my discussion for the first part of the discussion for the urinary system. We will have a separate discussion for the latter part. So thank you for listening